The Elections Office machinery has started verifying signatures on the Cruise Port Referendum Cayman's petition in order to trigger the country's first people's-initiated referendum. Now, we told you earlier that one signature had already been verified, and joining me now is Elections Supervisor Wesley Howell, who's here in studio to break down the process. Good evening, and thank you for being here with us on Cayman 27 News.
My pleasure.
So the number was 1 when our reporter was at your office earlier today. What do we have now?
I think it's approaching 5. When I left this afternoon, there was a young lady from the BRAC in Grand Cayman verifying her signature in person. So while we haven't started our door-to-door yet, folks can come into the office, and they've already been doing that. We've also been contacted by a resident who's overseas in Europe trying to figure out a mechanism to verify.
So people just can't call and verify that way?
We want to ensure that people are who they say they are, so we would prefer to have that ID and be able to do that formal verification. Okay,
so now you've had to put together a team very quickly to go through this verification process. How many people do you have on staff working on this right now?
So we're going through our staff list of persons who've done door-to-door work for us before, and other persons who've done surveys, official surveys. We're looking at about 75 to 100 persons, and we'll be mobilizing them over the next 2 weeks or so.
Now, you've been through this exercise before when we had the one-man, one-vote referendum. How long does it take to go through this process of verification? Then it took you 3 to 4 months. We do have a large electorate now. How much time are you allocating?
Because the signatures are around 5,500, 5,600, we expect to be in the field for about 8 weeks. So we're looking at mid to end of August would be the time frame at this point.
That could be pretty quick.
And that's the goal, is to get it done effectively. We'll have some difficulty because we are entering the summer periods when families tend to travel. So we may have to double back a couple of times to find individuals. But we've already been contacted by individuals who know they're going to be traveling in July, saying, can you get me now before I leave? So we're prepared to do what we have to do to get that list verified.
And we know that there are no funds allocated in this current budget.
Yes.
But do you have an idea, ballpark, of how much this is going to cost?
I don't yet, because one of the drivers behind that is how many people we're going to have, how many people have checking in and certifying their results. So we are really working hard on that. We are at the end of a 2-year budget cycle, so our current budget was prepared back in 2017. So there was no thought that we would have a referendum at this point in the budget year. But that's what supplementaries are there for us, for these unexpected expenses, and we'll be making our submission very shortly. But that said, it's not actually stopping us from starting to mobilize. We'll go ahead and mobilize based on what we have now.
And those behind the petition, CPR Cayman, they're out there, they're telling people to contact you. Will that help expedite the process? It
will, especially if persons are coming into the office. We don't want to verify via phone. We want to do that in person. So, they can contact us in relation to setting up an appointment or making sure that we know where they are. But we will be using the media very heavily once we start mobilizing, so folks will know what areas we're canvassing at the time that we're doing the verification. So I suspect that it won't be too much of an issue to find the vast majority of people.
So basically you need people to pay attention, watch the news, or pick up the paper, be active on social media to find out where and when you will be. And
the CPR group have been great in terms of getting the message out in relation to the process. I got an update from them today saying, we published your number and your email address and that kind of thing. So I think we're aligned at getting the verification done.
And for those who are wondering how separate the elections offices from the rest of the government machinery, what do you say to them?
At this point, I am fully reporting to His Excellency the Governor. There is no other interaction with my ministry in relation to my day-to-day job. There's an acting chief officer, so I'm fully accountable to the Governor and the people of Cayman Islands to make this a transparent and independent process, and that I endeavor to do.
And I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more of you in the coming days and weeks. Thank you so much for being here with us on Cayman 27 News.
My pleasure.
And you please stay with us, because we'll have so much for you after the break. Sports is next with Jordan Armanese.